You can't burn bread, it just becomes toast. Greetings gamers and welcome back to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host Carl Monroe, and your brain named itself. The FNAF world is big, but with the addition of fan games and fan lore, the world is ever expanding. These fan games can be popular, mostly due to scary animatronics or an amazing story. But what about the former? That's what we're exploring with today's list of the top 10 scary FNAF fan animatronics. Be sure you hit like if you love FNAF and subscribe for more daily gaming content. No, we don't just cover FNAF, but you seem to love it, so we're going to keep bringing it. Now, roll the intro. At 10, Dismantled Spring Bonnie. Think Nightmare Fredbear but Bonnie, and you have Dismantled Spring Bonnie. Coming from the game Fredbear's Fright, Dismantled Spring Bonnie is honestly terrifying because of the similarity to Nightmare Fredbear. By similarity, I'm talking about the bulkiness and the color scheme. I know that Nightmare Fredbear is based on the Spring Freddy animatronic, but we never see a Spring Bonnie aside from William inside of Springtrap, so based on that Bonnie, it's fairly skinny. Now, in no case do I consider Bonnie to be a scary animatronic, but even without the stomach, mouth, and extremely sharp teeth, Spring Bonnie still puts me on edge and gives me those heebie-jeebies. The ruined hand and the missing arm section just makes this animatronic something that really knows how to get to you. And considering how this is the first animatronic you see since it's there from night 1 makes it all the more terrifying, especially to those who are afraid of Bonnie. So I'm sorry that I showed you this. And 9, Shadow Candy. The wonderful world of shadow animatronics. The shadow animatronics were a big part of Five Nights 3, becoming almost main protagonists when they were part of the minigames. However, Shadow Candy from Five Nights at Candy's is freaking spooky. Especially in Five Nights at Candy's 3, which is more like the FNAF 4 of the series, with essentially nightmare versions of these animatronics. It also looks like the FNAF 3 version of Shadow Candy is like some buff helpy of this universe. And if you don't know who buff helpy is, you're lucky. I'm sorry for bringing it up. The dark purple solid color is very interesting, but it also is very intense and makes details harder to make out, making Candy appear more like a shadow. The lack of detail just also makes these things scarier. Like, have you seen a Skyrim dragon when the textures don't fully load? It's literal nightmare fuel. It doesn't even have eyes, it's just like one thing. Especially if you have the Macho Man Randy Savage Dragon mod. Oh god. And at 8, HAVOC Chica. While having all the similar parts to her original counterpart, HAVOC Chica is one of the scariest versions of Chica out there. Hailing from the kingdom of Dormitibus, her bright yellow color scheme has been desaturated, bringing in more of an unsettling feeling, and there is also various orange spots around her. Her head has a whole lot of damage done to it, and it appears as if her limbs have been extended. The wires of the various areas of the animatronic are exposed as well, even more so than withered Chica. Wires coming out of wherever they can, and the severe damage dealt to her body makes Chica look absolutely horrific. The walking animation alone, which can be found in the extras menu of the game, or as a GIF on her Dormitibus fandom wiki page, is just terrifying. The scariest version of Chica to me was Jacko Chica, but this knocks that out of the park and makes it look like a children's toy, which I guess technically it is. And at 7, Burnt Freddy. Burnt Freddy is a carbonized version of Withered Freddy. He is a rusty and badly burnt bear with a top hat and bow tie and 2 buttons on his chest, like normal Freddy. However, Burnt Freddy has a large hole in the left side of his head. That reveals some of his endoskeleton. He has no eyes and is missing his right chin, so he ends up crawling instead of walking. His appearance actually reminds me of the dark mode of Freddy's animatronic repair and Help Wanted. His texture is very burnt, obviously, and basically looks like how you would expect a burnt Freddy to look. It looks terrifying, since Freddy is to me the scariest out of the original 4 animatronics, and just the idea of it burning and the revenant not melting is really scary and shows that not everything can have a simple answer. We know that damn well when it comes to this series. You can't just burn away the souls of the children you killed, you need to deal with the consequences. And at 6, Ignited Bonnie. Ignited Bonnie from the Joy of Creation is one creepy dude. Looking like even more of a withered version of Withered Bonnie from FNAF 2, Ignited Bonnie still has the appearance of Bonnie, but is missing most of the skin, and has a majority of its endoskeleton exposed. Entirely missing a left arm, Ignited Bonnie still has those signature red eyes that we've all come to know and fear from our favorite withered animatronic. This version is also missing covering for its torso and its right arm, as well as its right shin. The exposed endoskeleton makes this extremely unsettling, and it makes me wonder, for those who are scared of Bonnie, does Ignited Bonnie missing most of the features of normal Bonnie make it easier to handle or make it worse? Let me know in the comments because I'm really curious. Halfway through number 5, Creation. Creation from the Joy of Creation is a mix of all ignited animatronics. It's basically the Ennard of this game. A combination of ignited Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxxy. And since it has their parts, it also has their powers. Creation's upper head belongs to Freddy, missing both ears. Lower jaw belongs to Bonnie. The body and limbs are exposed endoskeleton parts, and it seemingly has 4 arms, 2 of them lacking hands. The absurd spider-like design of the animatronic aside, the glowing red eyes combined with the missing body and covering everywhere but the face is horrifying in the worst of ways. This guy has desaturated the entire set of suit parts, which makes everything even worse because, like, no color makes things scary. Fun fact, I actually use this when I'm making thumbnails for these videos. I make quite a few of the thumbnails for this channel, and when I need to make a photo look scarier, I just desaturate the image. Therefore, if they do that with the animatronics, it will easily make it more effective. Now it can just jump scare you, and you're screwed. And at 4, Monster Rat. Hailing from Five Nights at Candy's 3, the Monster Rat is one of the scariest rats I've ever seen, aside from CGI Master Splinter. Monster Rat's proportions resemble that of a human, even with the giant ears, pointy fingernails, stitched parts, and long tongue, but I mean, Miley Cyrus also has all that. Monster Rat is also shredded more than the cheese I put on my tacos. This rat is so yoked he makes eggs look like they need more protein. His subscription to whey protein must pay the company's expenses alone. And that tail! While slightly sexy, the tail is also freaking terrifying. I'm also kidding, I don't find the tail slightly sexy. Keyword being slightly. Speaking of sexy, in FNAF 3, Monster Rat starts outside of the bedroom, and if the player hears thumping and sometimes knocking, it means he's either at the door, in the wardrobe, or in the closet. It's okay, we're an accepting community. The player must shine their flashlight at these locations in order to force him back. If you don't do this, he'll enter the bedroom and stay at one of the 3 locations in the room. Hopefully the bed. And basically, you need to shine the flashlight in his eyes or you'll have to deal with a night of passion and lust. I'm kidding. Totally kidding. None of my feelings towards him are true. Getting close to the end at number 3, Reaper Puppet. Here we are, the one you all knew would be included on this list, at least if you watched any other FNAF video when I mentioned this creepy animatronic. If you haven't heard of him, I was first introduced to him when I was researching the top 10 scariest FNAF animatronics list, and I wanted to include a fan character at number 10. He's also in the thumbnail for that video. But when I found the Reaper Puppet, I was incredibly terrified, and honestly, fearful of what I'd end up seeing. The Reaper Puppet is a really screwed up version of the puppet we all know, the one who gave life to the other animatronic. And if you think that the puppet walking towards you in VR is creepy, the Reaper Puppet climbs over the railing of your hospital room balcony in the most disturbing way I can ever think possible. He's like, it's weird. It is one of the most terrifying moments in the Final Night series to me, and this is a game where you basically need to actually sleep to pass time. If you're awake and defending yourself, time doesn't pass. It's terrifying and the most intense moment of the series in my opinion, because like, Jesus. Lord Jesus Crisp, please. I'm starting a new religion, the cheese religion. Praise the holy Jesus. Holy Jesus Crisp. I'll stop. And at 2, Fright. Fredbear's Fright's Fright animatronic is a misshapen and deformed animatronic composed of elements of the other animatronics. Great! Another frickin' amalgamation. And when I say amalgamation, I mean that in the most literal sense of the word. Fright decided it would be a good idea to use different animatronic parts like dismantled Spring Bonnie's torso, but goes so far as using different forearms. Yeah, forearms. But then has no protection over other parts, just like being a naked endoskeleton. Their face is just horrific. It's inset and looks like it melted away, exposing the specific parts of the face, like the teeth, nose, and eyes. But they're human-looking features. You know what? He legit looks like the man on the moon from Morty's Mind Blowers. You know, the episode they did instead of Interdimensional Cable? You know, the one that Morty thought was stalking him, but was from the moon. And then the principal thought that he was just touching people inappropriately and then beat him up, and then the teacher killed himself. But then he turned out to just be a smudge on his telescope, so Rick removed the memory. Yeah, that's the face this guy has, and those teeth are worse than the original CGI Sonics. I said it. Finally, in at number 1, Havoc Puppet. Havoc Puppet is formed by a cracked and distorted version of the puppet's original mask in the Dormant Abyss universe. However, this mask is missing the lower half. The head has a hole above the mouth, seemingly acting like a nose. And we all thought Voldemort was lacking in the nasal department. It has 2 white dots acting as pupils and its empty eye sockets. Coming out of the mouth are 7 black tentacles. 3 in the front, 4 in the back, like some messed up mullet. This form of even more messed up arachnid that should have never been allowed to exist is just disgusting. Like, even Satan would see this thing and be like, yeah, not a chance in, well, hell. The middle front tentacle looks to be like a tongue, with the ones next to it operating as legs, the outermost ones working as arms, and the other 2 work as if they were tails. Why on earth would you make this ungodly thing? Actually, screw ungodly, this thing is unsatanly. Satan is afraid of this thing. I can hear the satanic temple quaking with just the mere mention of this thing. The Havoc Puppet appears night 4, so if I ever play this game, I'm ending it at night 3. I'm arachnophobic and thought that the Reaper Puppet was bad. Holy sweet baby Jesus, I am not falling asleep tonight. God, There we have it, friends, the top 10 scary FNAF fan animatronics. Which animatronics did you find terrifying, and are there any that you'd like to see be included if we do a part 2? Let me know below, and on your way down, be sure you hit like and subscribe for daily gaming content and ring that bell to join the clan and level up. Thank you all so much for watching. I have been and shall remain Connor Monroe, and I'll see you in another video.